Hi guys, we are back with another episode. I'm Joy.
I'm Tiffany.
And we are the Noir Space podcast.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
How are you guys?
We'll wait for you to answer. I think that's Toph's intention.
How are you, Joy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm dandy. I just recovered from tonsillitis, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was the worst thing ever. I talk too much. I think I've told anyone that can hear that I had tonsillitis. I want everybody to know that is not something I could recommend.
Was it like mad painful?
Oh, Joy, I don't even want to get into it. Like, I couldn't eat. I couldn't talk.
Wow.
I couldn't.
Because of the pain or?
The pain. And yeah. But anyway.
Being sick is the worst.
Being sick, because you know what?
I
thank God.
it.
Start to thank God for the times that I talked.
Health is the most important
Health
thing.
is wealth. Do you know what? And you know what? When I was lying down on that bed, I just remember that it was Steve Jobs that said something about health. Like, you can have all the money in the world, but if your health, like,
I have no clue.
All
I know is that
that's what was playing in my mind, and I was like, do you know what? I don't want to live like this again. So I started taking my vitamins.
Health is so important.
It's
Anyways,
so important.
that is not the topic of the day. The topic of the day is:
are we becoming what? Joy, how did you put it? Are we becoming?
How did I put it?
No. Just now, you said, are we becoming aunties and uncles prematurely?
Oh yeah,
Before our time.
Are we becoming aunties and uncles before our time?
Yeah. Now the thing is, what we have to is it actually? I think what we're talking about is that typical auntie and uncle, the one that we don't really
like, the auntie and uncle that you see like twice a year.
Yeah.
And when they come over, your mum's like, you need to be home. The house needs to be clean.
Yeah.
And it's like you see them, oh, hi, auntie. And the first thing they say is like,
they're commenting on your appearance.
What are, like, why have you got lashes? Like, what are those lashes? Like, that's the auntie and uncle we're talking about. Not like, I'm an auntie already.
Oh, congratulations
Thank
to
you.
your brother or sister.
Brother. Yes.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I'm an auntie, but that's not what we mean. I'm not that auntie.
Are you sure
yet.
you're not, Joy?
I'm actually not. I'm not that auntie just yet. I can feel it coming. Sometimes she tested. I was like,
girl, you don't.
Girl. But yeah, that's not what we mean.
Nah. You not know the kind of aunties and uncles we're talking about. Like,
we painted the picture for you.
Now, let's talk about it, because I know there was certain discussions about how a lot of the stuff that we used to not laugh at per se, but a lot of the stuff that we thought was uncool, right? It's kind of coming back in. It's like, what's the word? Sneaking in. Like, let's give a few examples. Like, I would say one example was French tips. Like, I don't feel like there was a period where it was just, we were all about coffin, glitter,
ombre,
and ombre everywhere, and then you had the glitter on your ring finger. Like, French tips, not to say that we thought we intentionally just that we laughed at them, but they just went.
It was just an auntie sort of thing, or like lip liner,
dark lip liner,
blush,
intense blush,
thin brows.
Are they again?
Yeah, they're coming back. Thin brows.
Do you know what? For some people, they are actually coming back in. Yeah, it's like these are the stuff that we used. Well, personally, I'm not even gonna. Let me not talk for you, like, innit? I'll talk for myself, innit? I literally in year 10, year 11, I used to look at my mum. And my mum loves blush. Like everyone loves blush. Do you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, she loves blush. And I used to look at her and I'd be like, mate, this is something that we used to do back in the day. We don't do this anymore. And now, the day I found blush for myself and I discovered it, I said, wow, I don't even know how to tell my mum that.
She's using it.
I'm using
now.
it. Do you know what I mean? I don't even like, and it's like, what is it about? Is it just that trends just don't even think about pick and drop?
Pick and drop, is it back?
Pick and drop is back, but it's pick and drop. You know the hairstyle.
I've seen it.
And
I
then
don't
you
think
curl
it's called
it.
pick and drop.
Nah, it's not. Do you know why? Because they're rebranding it. It's not called pick and drop.
She said it's pick.
And
I
then
think
they
there's
drop it.
there's a different.
And then they curl it, but it's kind of, that's pick and drop revamp. Are you crazy? Like, I was gonna say, like, things like, I don't think Afro Kinky is back yet, but like similar styles, like they're all making an emerge. Sew-ins,
yeah.
Not to say
I
that.
remember when my mum would get sew-ins.
Do you know
or
what I
like
mean?
my mum loves like eyeliner, like pencil, not like tip, like
Pencil,
felt tip.
yeah.
Yeah, like the actual pencil. She loves lip liner. It's actually funny. Yesterday, my cousin looked at me. She was like, are you lining your lips? You're like morphing into your mum. And I was like, oh my God, I never saw it that way. But
And literally, I can't leave the house without lip liner.
Lip
but
liner.
then even think about things like wigs.
We just do it a little different.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. Maybe it's not that.
Aunties weren't gluing them.
And they weren't plucking it either.
They weren't plucking it.
But like, let's leave out wigs. But like, a lot of the stuff that I think we attach to being an older, but it's just because we're getting older though. That's what I'm saying. Is it just because we're getting older that we are?
Yeah, I feel like we underestimate our aunties and
sense of fashion.
Uncles. Let's just talk about aunties. I don't know what the uncles are up to.
I don't know.
But I feel like we underestimated our aunties and like, or our mums, and we looked at them.
Their level of drip, yeah.
Like, what did you know? But we forget they lived.
They knew.
My mum always says, I wasn't born 50.
Like when we were born. They weren't born when we were born.
Like, they lived, they've been 19, they've been 20, they've been 21.
Yeah.
So, like, even now I look back at pictures of my mum and the fits, like, I would wear that now.
No, low rise.
Like, my mum's in a double denim.
Like, do you know what I mean?
And I'm like, wow.
Even Juicy Couture. Low rise, tracksuit velvet. Like,
find old pictures of your parents and see they were, like, way cooler than you are now.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
It's true. It is.
No, but it's like, it's crazy because I think if you were to look at some of the pictures of your mum, not your mum personally, like your mum, you would see that like a lot of the stuff and you know what? If you want to be a trendsetter, go and look at what they were wearing in 1980, 80, 70. Go and look at it and just pick one thing, and I'm telling you now, it will.
But that's what they really do. Like, fashion is just like recycling stuff and like reinventing it.
No, literally, like quite literally, like even thinking about Y2K. Y2K now is so hot right now. Yeah. But Y2K is literally
it's just a 2000s
fashion. So I don't know. Like, I think because do you ever think in your head that like, oh, my kid's gonna think I'm cool.
I do think that sometimes, because I take disposable pictures for that exact reason. I don't take them for myself. My mom was like big on disposable pictures. Like, we have so many. So I was like, okay, I want my kids to have the same. Yeah. But like, what if they look at me and they're like,
think this girl, she was meaty.
She was actually mid. Like, what is she wearing? But no, I'll make a point to be like, that was hot.
I don't know what else I'm gonna start doing. I'm gonna get not only my Polaroids, my friends' Polaroids, and I'll show you this is what was hot.
Take pictures with your friends.
Take pictures with your friends, exactly.
So they know it's not just you walking around looking mad.
Not just you with flared jeans. Like, my mum used to force me to wear flares. You couldn't pay me to wear flared jeans. But now I can't get not flared, mum jeans.
Mum jeans, the baggy style.
You couldn't pay me to wear baggy jeans in whatever.
It was a skinny jean. Skinny jean and
skinny drip
Superstars.
from Fashion Nova.
Yeah.
Rip on the knee, you're right, Superstars. Cropped top from Boohoo.
Yeah. That was the
drip, and then it's crazy how fashion trends die. So I think with that it's like, okay, I think in terms of becoming aunties, I don't really, if I start liking things that older people like, it's because I'm getting older, but in terms of like that judgmental side, are we starting to recognize what kind of aunties people will be in a few years? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Just go on TikTok and you'll be able to know what kind of aunties people will be.
No, I think honestly it's very telling.
Very telling.
The way, especially even the way people treat that like their younger siblings or younger cousins, is like, you can tell, I know who you are. I know
it's toxic.
Yeah.
It's toxic.
It's like, for example, I'll ask you a question. You know, like when people are like, oh, they're telling a story about something that happened to them, like putting up a TikTok about what they like, and someone goes, find shame in the comments, or like, you couldn't beat this information out of me, or something like that. Is that traits of people being like becoming judgmental?
the judgmental auntie.
Aunties and uncles.
Yeah, but I think it's also just what we've been taught, and it takes like a very specific sort of person to like unlearn what you've been taught and like find who you are and what you believe in. Because like I was like growing up, I was always taught to like keep my home life and my private life private.
Yeah, private.
So I could easily be on people's comments like, why would you come on here and tell us what's going on in your household? But it's about having that sort of like critical thinking to be like, that's not everyone's reality.
Exactly.
And also like, what is the toxic implications of being so quiet about everything? Sometimes it's good to talk.
And also as well, not only that, it's you can, because you've been like because you've grown up in a certain way, you can definitely think certain things, but you don't have to say them. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that a whole, you taking it another step further to actually shame someone into like, because they have not grown up the way, or they don't think the way you think. And I think that's where it comes from, is like, I don't know, if you don't like something, why can't you just scroll past it?
I feel like we're in that age of social media where people feel like they must
say something. Like my
just because the comment section is there. Like, I must
give my piece.
I must, say this comment.
Yeah.
You don't always have to.
Nah, I 100%, like, I don't think...
Or you must speak on everything that people do. Like, they, like, we had the whole carnival thing. The whole carnival, like, should you be going to carnival if you're if you're a believer? And it's just like, it's not actually everything that, because in my opinion, it's like, carnival's been and gone. So even me sitting there and watching you give your 2 pence, if you're telling me I'm like doomed to hell, I've already gone. Like, where do we go with this conversation? I feel like we're like privileged enough that we grew up in like a different society where we have more mercies. So there's no need for us to be behaving the way our aunties did, where they grew up in Africa, where it's like perhaps they didn't have much mercy shown to them. Everything was very black and white. You live in a more democratic society. There's no reason to be behaving that way.
I think as well, like, I was actually, who was it? I really like Akala, innit? Oh, but I don't want to misquote Akala. I don't know if it was, I think it was Akala quoting Stormzy. And anyway, I might have got it wrong, but...
On TikTok.
Yeah. Everything, all my videos.
Everything's on TikTok.
Information is always on TikTok. But it's like, he was saying that, the way social media works, it's not normal. Like, you shouldn't be able to hear all the negative stuff that people have to say about you. You shouldn't see that kind of stuff, and you shouldn't, same way it works for the positive stuff. You shouldn't be able to see all the love that people, because that's not the way life works. Do you know what I mean? You walk down the street and someone might look at you and say, what is she wearing? But they don't say it.
Yeah.
Do you get it? But whereas on social media, you see everything that everybody has to say about you, which is not normal.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, that whole, like, you don't have to, if you don't think, I don't know, I think it's about everyone genuinely thinking that what they have to say is
really important.
Yeah.
It's like an ego thing. Like, yeah. I've got this think piece.
Yeah.
That I must offer the world. The world will change with this.
And the world, yeah.
Majority of the time, like, I could probably count on one hand and I still have fingers left. The amount of times that I've like watched a TikTok of someone saying something and been like, wow, like, I needed to hear that. Like, wow, like, I couldn't have thought of that myself. Like, with the carnival thing, with that time that I can't remember the creator's name, but she must have been like, if you get played, then you're stupid.
You're dumb.
I had to come off TikTok because TikTok wasn't listening to me when I was saying not interested. It kept putting up and people were just saying the same thing. Like, I understand what she's saying, but it's not the same for everyone. It's like, duh, like, obviously, it doesn't take a genius to know that. God.
No, but I think it's like, what it's like when you're in the class and someone says a point and you raise your hand to say a similar point in different words because you just had to speak.
You know what's funny? The teacher will tell you, we just had that.
We just had that.
But we don't have that on social media.
We don't have that on social media. We don't have that. They need to literally have a button that says, this is similar to another person's content. This is already in circulation. Someone's already said this.
And they could implement that on TikTok.
Very easily.
They could.
To put this content is too
similar to what's already been put out.
You have
there.
literally just said, but I think in terms of like even just like, ooh, I have a controversial one.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like, you know,
she's gonna pose it to me.
I definitely,
of course.
Joy, who was am I gonna pose it to? But like in terms of like, you know how like younger girls nowadays are, some people think they're growing up too fast. So like you, for example, you might see a 14-year-old and I'm not just gonna pose it to you. I think I'm going to say something about it first.
Ooh, wow.
So that it's not like I'm throwing a question at you.
Yeah.
I'm stealing your answer. But it's like some people think that, or like you might see a 14-year-old and she might have a frontal and her face is big and she's going to sixth form. Not sixth form. How old are you?
14.
You're 14. You're going to secondary school, innit? And it's like some people like with older people will say, bro, you're too fast. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's an auntie sort of response to have.
And do you know what I think? I think there is a balance. I think in terms of mentality, I do agree that if you're at 14 and you want to be older, it's not a thing of an auntie situation where I'm saying where I would tell you as a 14-year-old, oh, I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you you shouldn't. I'm just saying, for your sake, you want to be young. Do you get it? I'm not even old. I'm not even old yet. Like, I think I'm still quite...
Yeah, you're young, Toff.
No, I think I'm still a kid. Do you get it?
Yeah.
And it's like, even with my kid that I'm at, I can still tell a 14-year-old, bro, you don't want to rush to get into... It looks like 18, older life, adult life looks glitz and glamour. But when they say adulting is adulting, like, you want to enjoy your youth as it is. But that doesn't always mean... Two facts can be true at once. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't... If frontals are in, then why wouldn't... We were doing hairstyles that were in. Do you get it?
I think it's also about, like, just letting people find out for themselves. Like, experience is the best teacher. And sometimes know your place. Like, on social media, if you see, like, a 14-year-old that's wearing wigs and has, like, got extra long nails, sit and ask yourself, is me commenting this gonna make her... Stop.
She's gonna now see my comment and then go to the shop and
put her nails in solution and
now only get gel in
it's not
a pink pastel color. The thing is, I think what you said is true about who are we to the person?
Literally, who are you?
You're not
to
the
them?
person's mum, the person's older sister. So who are you? I get for do you know what though? I understand that there are some people that is from a place of love, but then again, it's all about delivery. Like, how are you saying it, and like what medium
delivery
are you
is really, really
delivery
important,
is so important,
you know?
because it's literally the difference between coming across as concerned or judgmental.
And I feel like people don't really care these days about coming across as judgmental
because they think they're real.
They're just like, oh yeah, well, like life is not. It's not all roses, so I'm not going to be it either. But you don't realise that your message is getting lost because you're coming off as too...
It's harsh.
Yeah.
But it's the thing. It's also a thing where it's like, not only who are you to the person, what are the times? You can't base what you were doing off, like what you were doing when you were 14, off what someone is doing now.
Yeah.
Even like when you look at what we were doing when we were 14, someone could equally look at us and say, you lot are too fast.
Yeah.
Like in year 11, you were wearing wigs, we had nails. That could have been perceived as being too fast as well.
Or even us, like people in our age range, like people in their 30s, for instance, might look at us and
think
like,
we're too fast.
I did not look like you when I was your age.
Yeah, and even not even just looks. Someone who's 30 can look at the way particular people in our age group live our life. Like even some of the designers that we have, designers that you have, some of the designers our age group is rocking is really wow.
My mum would always say, if you've got this now, what are you going to have when you're okay?
No, this one, you actually just have to hold. You have to hold it.
You have to maintain it.
Hold that Coco Chanel until you're 40 and then give it to your... Because that's like how vintage
Yeah.
Is that how vintage works? Yeah, you hold it, innit?
Investing.
But it's like, some people can look at our age group and say, you lot are too fast as well. So it's like, one, who are you to the person? Two, what are the times? Like, three, who cares? If it actually isn't causing the person any, it's not putting the person in danger.
Just let them be. Do you feel like some of it is jealousy?
I think, do you know what it is? Yeah, it's a jealousy, kind of coming from a fact that they're angry that they couldn't do that when they were that age.
Yeah, because like sometimes I see like really pretty girls on TikTok, and then they'll be like, "Oh, I just turned 17."
Yeah.
Me, I'm just like about to turn 20. I'm like, and you look like that. I could either use that energy to be bitter and jealous and be like, "You need to calm down." Like, why? Like, do you know what I mean?
Or you can ask that 17-year-old for makeup tips, because it's less.
You don't need to like dull anyone else's shine just because you feel like it's not their time yet. When is their time? Like, you could literally die tomorrow. If you want to wear the wig,
that's deep.
If you want to wear the wig. In my opinion,
honestly, if it's not causing you any danger, it's not putting you in any harm. Although
there's a difference between like hair, makeup, and nails, and like wearing provocative stuff.
And that's why I think this conversation is very deep.
But I say leave that to their mothers, leave that to their
parents, because I know this conversation can get actually political in terms of like, you know, the over sexualization of young women, but like that is not what we're talking about today. And also as well, that's just not what we're talking about today.
I'm so ready to talk about that.
Really. And anyway, that one will take us till tomorrow if we talk about the over sexualization of young women. But it's like, are we becoming judgmental aunties before our time?
Me personally, no. But
I just don't think I care enough about other people's appearances to like the first thing I see someone when I comment. The first thing I see someone, I comment on their weight or the way they look, their nails. Like I just don't know.
It's different times for sure. Because even like when I see some people that are still at my secondary school, and I think they're going into like year 9 and stuff, they look how I was looking in year 11.
Yeah.
It's just the times like social media, TikTok is so accessible. They're seeing the same makeup tips on TikTok that we're seeing. And they're implementing it.
And some of them have the money some of them have the money. With the over-sexualization of young women, I don't know where I stand on that, because you know what? If you stand for nothing, you will fall for everything. Is that what Martin Luther King said?
I don't know who said it.
Is that the quote though?
I think so. Sounds good to me.
I'm still yet to work out where I am, because I do know that there are certain people that like, they say if you are 14 and you look like you are 20, then you are contributing to the over-sexualization of women. But then at the same time, women, especially black women, are sexualized. Like, a girl does not need to wear makeup. A girl does not need to wear a wig. For a black girl does not need to do all of that stuff to be over-sexualized. Like, it happens in the community.
That's why I honestly, like, personally, I don't believe in all of that, like, preventing how you're perceived by other people to limit your sexualization. At the end of the day, like, our bodies are sexualized anyway. Like, if you're a curvier girl, like, I have a friend who is just like a curvier girl, and she's been sexualized since she was young, and I feel like that's like a universal experience for curvier girls. If you have a big bust, it just is what it is. Like, there's certain tops that a girl who's like flatter chested could wear and not hear anything, but if you have like boobs, then it's like you're a slut or you're looking for attention because you're wearing the same top that your friend is wearing. So
yeah,
I like believe in literally do what you want.
I actually changed my mind. I do think I have an opinion. I think, do you know what it is? I think if you there's certain things in life that you genuinely can't control people's perception of you because of society and the way they've been, what's the word? Conditioned to think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I actually do agree with you. I agree in this, like, with you. You can't. Black women have been, and this is not even something that, like, they used to, like, strip black women naked and look at zoos so that they can look at their body. So
yeah.
I don't think the fact that a girl she's 14 and she wears lashes, that means that...
But you know where it gets political in terms of this auntie thing? And not even just aunties, like parents. And I was actually having this discussion with my friend recently. You know, like we grow up and you can either begin to understand your parents and like actually sit down and deep why they say the things that they say, or you can harbor bitterness towards them. If you come downstairs and your mum is like, why are you wearing that short skirt? You know, you're going to get the wrong attention. You can either see that as my mum is misogynistic and she's old school and she's like blaming me for certain things, or you can be like, what has my mum gone through when she was my age to make her think that?
That's so where it's techie.
That's why it's a little bit, it can get a little bit political, because if your auntie's saying to you like, you know, why are you wearing red nail polish and makes you look like a prostitute? What happens? Why does she think that? You know, maybe she was your age and wearing red nail polish and something tragic happened to her, and that's her way of protecting you.
And like it might be coming from like they're trying to be protective, but then again, I think it links back to what we said before. Who's it coming from? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think if you are somebody who's not very close to the person, it will never be received as being it will never be received as being loving. That kind of advice I don't think will be perceived as being loving, because they don't know you.
I just think some people are like chronically online.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you think that you, like an anonymous person commenting on someone else's post, giving advice, is gonna
be received as, oh, this person really cares about me. And I think if you're genuinely that concerned, there are other ways to go around, because like I don't think that individual is going to receive that as like, they're just gonna say, who are you? Do you know what I mean? Whereas if it's coming from like, I guess your mom, your dad, not your dad, your mom, like someone that's I think a little bit closer to you, you might be able to understand. And there's also conversations that I had where you're saying, okay, this red nail varnish is not the cause of why you are probably being over-sexualized, but
it's a discussion to be had. Like, speak to your like aunties and your parents
about where's this coming from.
You know, where's this? Like,
where is this coming
from? Like a free therapy trial with them and be like, where does this come from?
You know, like, is it just you saying on a rant, you just don't like the fact that man's piff? Do you know what I mean?
It is that sometimes.
Sometimes I'm just hot. I'm a hot girl and you're hating. Do you know what I mean?
It's also like a good hack, I would say, for like girls in our generation. If you're getting like judged by aunties or parents or whatever, just take it as, I look so good right now that they feel like they need to dim my shine.
Do you know what I mean? You might just be so hot.
They're just like, you look like too leng. If you go outside, you're gonna get snatched up off the street.
You know, like someone tweeted, if they go do their lashes and their dad complains, they know they've done it right.
Yeah. There's a certain look my mom gives me when I come downstairs in an outfit. It's like, she won't say anything because it's like, you look good, but this makes me uncomfortable because you look good. And I'm just like, I'm heading out right.
Nah, I do think that there are serious conversations to be had, but it's like, who's having the conversations? I don't think a rando. I'm talking about for me anyway. I think if I was wearing something and someone older than me was very concerned about the way I looked and the way I might be received, I wouldn't want that. And if that is coming from a stranger, like, you don't just say it, hey, don't wear that, you're too young. Like,
but you know what else? I feel like this is a bit of a radical position.
Wow, tell me.
But it's like, do we want to perpetuate this notion of like suppressing ourselves for the like comfort of men or the comfort of people viewing us? Me personally, like, I don't believe in that. I feel like I will have that conversation with my kids where it's like, okay, you do know if you go out looking like this is how you're going to be received because of the world that we live in. But I don't want to make it like a shameful thing.
It's not a shameful thing.
If you know that you have the right intentions, if you're going out looking a certain way for that attention, then there's a discussion to be had. There's a discussion to be had. But if you're just wearing like a nice pair of shorts and you just so happen to have a big bum, like, let me just tell you, this is what it looks like. But the whole like shaming thing and, you know, you're too this and I don't know.
Because some, like you said, some people can't help it. Some people, and it's the yash that their mum gave them that's the reason why their mum is complaining. Like, I didn't go and do a BBL for this thing. You gave me the yash and you're telling me my yash is too big for the shorts. It's like...
It's all conditioning though. This is what they grew up hearing.
It's true. Some people like, either they've experienced it or their mum, their aunties. I just don't know. I just think we have to just be very careful that everything that is coming from a place, everything that we say to people, even if it's like your little sister or your little cousin, it's coming from a place of like love, not a place of bitterness, envy, jealousy, bad vibes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like you also need to realize the sort of notions that feeds into. Like,
exactly.
If you tell your little sister you look like a slut, you're going out looking like a slut, like you're going to get the wrong attention, and then God forbid something happens to her out
she's
there.
Gonna think
she's gonna think it was because of me and blame herself and not tell anyone because, you know, you've instilled that into her head. That's not the sort of messages that we should be giving.
Then that's because the fact of the matter is you could literally be fully clothed, no wig, no makeup, no nothing.
Yeah.
And something could still, because this is a crazy world. Do you know what I mean? But
I feel like the message should be centered more around men and not women. Like, this is the nature of men. And until we move away from this, I don't know, disease in society, then you have to protect yourself. That's the only conversation to be had, in my opinion.
Just the conversation, I agree. It's not you are a slut.
Yeah. Because of your body. Like, why are our bodies like inherently sexual? Answer me that.
They can't. That's the craziest
And like
thing.
Men don't get that. Men will go out topless,
showing their nipples, by the way.
Nipples, everything. There's not a single, like, apart from like their like
groin.
Yeah, I was looking for a word. Thank you. Apart from their groin, I hate that word.
I hate that.
Yeah, but apart from that, there's no other part of a man that is sexual.
But it's because, Joy, women are objects of sex. Like, we are sexual.
Through media,
we've been made
everything.
Sexual objects. So it's so peak right now. It's so peak, but
I say we fight against it.
How do you want to fight?
By just doing you. Posting a bikini pic. I'm on the beach. Like, should I wear a maxi dress? A turtleneck, like,
and a blazer.
I'm a blazer, literally, and a scarf.
Oh,
I'm not gonna.
Gosh, what do you want from me, seriously?
I'm not gonna like suppress myself.
Dim your light, yeah.
When I'm not, you know, hurting anyone. That's my stance on it. Everyone has a different stance.
Nah, quite literally. I think this has been an interesting topic. I think it's definitely one that there's so many layers to it because people have experienced so many different stuff. But yeah, that's actually quite a deep topic, I'll be honest with you.
So are we tied into our aunties? Probably,
but it depends on choose which auntie you want to be, basically. Because we are
going to be the rich auntie, the cool auntie that just like comes to the family function with presents and you can tell her everything.
Yeah, no, just really, really, like, you can just sit down and talk
chill
to her,
and just advice, like your big sister. That's just what auntie I want to be.
Yeah, I could be 60. I still want to be your big sister.
Yeah.
Your big sister. Yeah.
big.
Your great grand sister. But no, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We've been the NOIRE Space podcast. Make sure you follow the NOIRE Space on all social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. But yeah, no, thank you. I've been tough for me.
I've enjoyed.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.